How about Zach? Missed some time, comes back tonight. Doesn't look like he's missed a beat at all.
I stepped in there against the lefty and got us going. So it was nice to see that, just get his feet wet and get some success right away. So good to have him back. I mean, he's obviously a big part of this club.
How important has Garrett Claypool been to the club thus far this season?
Tremendous. I mean, he's our spot starter we've had with double headers, and he gives us some solid innings out of the pen as well. I mean, he can pretty much do it all, and I mean, he's one of those guys that can swing for us where he can give us some extra innings, and I mean, his stuff it's been as good as I've seen it last year too. So I mean, he's a big part, obviously, of the pitching staff as a whole.
Stat-wise, looking at his K numbers, things like that, he strikes me as a Julio Rodriguez type. Julio's a guy you're familiar with from last season. Just a versatile guy, can come in and contribute, wherever you need him, however you need him. Do you see, versatility-wise, do you see those guys being similar at all?
I think it might be in terms of their roles, but I mean, they're both good pitchers that I mean, Claypool could start for a lot of guys, a lot of teams. I mean, we've got some good young starting pitching, but I mean, he's one of those guys who can start, he can relieve, he can do pretty much it all. So I mean, between the two, they're both good pitchers, and they're important pieces of the puzzle.
You've been using a lot of different lineup combinations over the past week or two. Is that something that we could continue to see? Is it something you're beginning to get a more confident, solid feel upon?
I don't know. I just throw them out there and let them play. I mean, however, you get to the ballpark and we find out who's playing, you just throw out a lineup, and there's a couple of guys who've stayed in their spots, and there'll be a couple of guys that are moving around. So I don't think where you hit in the lineup makes a difference as long as you're playing, and these guys they're not hitting like cleanup hitters, they're not hitting like two-hole hitters. They just go up there and get their at-bats and do the best they can.
You seem to be confident in letting pitchers go, as they continue success or show that they've still got it. Is there anybody right now that's got a pitch count or an inning limit going on?
I mean, they all do in a way, but I mean, we've been fortunate where guys have been pretty efficient. I mean, we've got how many we turned 4 double plays tonight, so with Buchanan, so that kept his number down. And Hollins was efficient up until the 7th inning. So I mean, you let them go out there, and if their stuff is still there, you just let them keep competing.
Now you've got several pitchers shining pretty brightly. Buchanan tonight. You just mentioned Hollins. Just what are your impressions of the entire pitching staff as a whole, and maybe those guys specifically?
I mean, they've kept the ship afloat, so to speak. I mean, they're I mean, we're confident in everybody we put on the mound. I mean, our bullpen has done a great job. Our starting pitching, especially, our starting pitching has given us innings and kept us in the game, and that's really all you can ask for. I mean, they're the reason why we go into every game with a chance to win, and they've kept us in the ball game.
You got a couple guys offensively on the team that initially may not have been among the team's everyday players, like Mendez, Bats, who have contributed nicely over the past week or two. Let's talk about those guys a bit, and just what their contributions have meant and how they've kind of solidified maybe a different spot or different position.
Those guys they just come in, they keep working, they do their work and prepare themselves, and whenever they're called upon, they've come through. I mean, that's their role. I mean, they just they work their way into more of a role. Mendez has, Bats has, they all have. I mean, everybody deserves to play, I think, and we just those guys put their time in the cage and prepare themselves, and it showed.
And something that was unofficial the last time we spoke is now official. Nick Hernandez's shoulder situation. What's the outlook going forward, do you think, on Nick Hernandez after surgery last week?
I have no idea. I haven't talked to anybody. I wish him well. Obviously, we hope he gets better, and I heard everything went well, but I haven't talked to anybody.